Stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. In today's culture, that's labeled toxic masculinity. But Scripture reveals the truth. Strength rooted in love is biblical masculinity. Make your choice. Welcome back to the Choice Podcast. Bright red fancy numbers started on time. Actually, we're early tonight, Matty B.
Man, we've got a little pattern of success happening.
It's the Monday thing.
On time last week, early this week.
Yeah, we're recording on Mondays right now, and so the only days that we've ever been on time have been Mondays. I don't understand that.
Me, the Thursdays weren't working.
Well, they weren't. You know why?
Because I didn't have to go to work on Friday morning into the office?
No, because we record Tuesdays.
That's what I meant. Yeah, whatever.
That's okay. Thursdays definitely didn't work.
Somehow it fits.
Maybe Thursday was the night we recorded that secret episode that no one ever heard from Arkansas, from the Arkansas. I know. But that's okay. We recovered off that one. We had our good friend in here, old Ty. He came back. But welcome back. Welcome in. We are on the one time a week train at the moment, and this will be number 4 of the single episode a week. But I tell you, I talked to, actually, you know who it was? It was the cat and Average Adam this morning. I said, hey, because the first one just came out today. It was, so last Wednesday. Today in your world, it's Monday, April 13th. And in last Wednesday, I guess it's in our world too. It's in normal people world, but just not podcast world. We never get this right. We're so dumb. At least I am. All right, and so we can't ever figure this out.
No, never.
Matty B keeps us on track.
So this episode is the 27th that they're listening to this.
27th what?
Of
April.
The 27th of April.
Yeah, because last week, in real time, they heard the episode about Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Because that came out on the 20th.
Yeah, good work. That's good, and I like that, which means the next couple episodes we'll be recording for May. That's pretty interesting. But I was fixing to tell you, Average Adam and the cat. So they last Wednesday, Founding Fathers on Trial intro came out, and today George Washington came out. I said, hey, fellas, listen to these real quick and give us some feedback so that we can tweak it going into tonight. That's right now. And it was Average Adam. He's like, you can't listen to anything that you guys do real quick. It's at 90 minutes. I'm like, well, half speed will be 40, or double speed will be 45. So
there you go.
Get on it. Needless to say, he didn't give me any feedback. But he did say, I did tell him we're going
I'm going to say if there's no negative feedback, it must have been positive.
That's right. No news is good news.
Good for us. We did a good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
I guess. I did tell him we were going to 1 week, and I think both of those guys are happy about that because they were having a hard time keeping up, which is true. I mean, we give 90 minutes twice a week. That's really 3 episodes, really.
Listen, man, I don't fault anybody for not being able to keep up with us.
No, I don't fault them either.
I can't even keep up with y'all.
Yeah, and you're the producer.
I mean, I forget everything as soon as we finish doing it, so maybe that's not exactly keeping up.
That's actually that's a true story.
Yeah.
When I listen back, and I did listen back to I started the George Franklin one. I listened about 20 minutes.
George Franklin, who's that?
See, I've lost it.
Is
George
that-
Washington.
There you go.
And I did listen to about 20 or 25 minutes of the intro to the Founding Fathers in general.
Yeah.
I absolutely forget things.
I got pretty fired up in that episode. Really fired up in that one.
Like in it or listening to it afterwards?
In it.
Oh, okay. What were we talking about?
George Washington.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
You were fired up with what's it, that soundboard you got over there.
Oh, yeah.
You get a little crazy on the sounds in that episode. There was a bunch of them. No, it was the buzzer.
Air horn. Yeah, the air horn. That was kind of OD on that one.
Yeah, you were a little extra on the air horn.
A little bit.
Well,
because you called Easter, all it was a holiday for chocolate eggs and bunny rabbits.
That one.
That was me. I called it that. I said bunny rabbits
it was a record
and colorful
scratch.
eggs.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it's a record scratch. What were you saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone who sees Easter like that, can I, Choice Baptist Church on 17, please come. Do you need Jesus?
Yeah, it was a little late for now. You can come next Easter.
Hey, you can come. You can come on
Yeah,
Sunday.
you can come in a couple days.
Hey,
Absolutely.
times don't change. 9, 10:30 every Sunday.
You're right.
Doors always open.
When you're right. No, it ain't. You couldn't get in the other day.
No, I can get in anytime.
Oh, yeah, you have a code.
I do.
I don't have a code.
Why is that? We
I
can
don't know.
talk to the boss man about that.
Maybe.
But either way, so we do have one change we got to tell you guys about, and that change is this. We decided, so we're in the middle of Founding Fathers on Trial. This is the fourth one in the series, because you had the intro and 2 people. 4th one in the series.
Right.
Josh we're on the 4th one in the series. Hold 2 fingers up. We've established that somewhere around episode 30.
4th one.
And is that because it's a V? No.
Maybe. I don't know.
But that's 5.
It's 5, yeah, exactly not. I don't even know where we're talking. Oh, yeah, so we get all fired up because we're talking America's 250th. We're super freedom-loving folks right now. And so, Maddie B, why don't you tell us what you proposed last night that we really liked?
Yeah, I just, for something of this magnitude, just kind of getting in the same mood with all of America, just spicing up a little bit.
Spice it up.
You probably noticed it on today if you saw the different cover art when you were
listening.
listening.
It looked good. I liked it.
We're listening to it. So,
great. Yep.
So now I'll let you do the countdown.
Okay, so
And I will get the drum roll ready to go.
should I tell them what's going to happen or tell them after?
Let's see if they, it's up to you. You can just say.
I say we don't tell them. We just do it, and if they know, they know.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Ta-da!
There it is.
Dun, da, da, da? There it is.
That looks good. That looks good. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you should watch.
YouTube.com.
If you were on our YouTube video watching,
This
you
will
would
probably
have
be on
seen
Facebook.
that we went from our normal background.
To a much more patriotic background.
I kind of like it. I'm going to describe it. We got a red banner up top with says the Choice Podcast, right? What do you got down below there, Josh?
Well, background, we've got a waving American flag behind
Can't be
the
more
background of the
freedom-loving than that.
screen. The logo in the bottom right corner has changed its look a little bit. Got some color in its life. It looks good. Looks sharp.
It's super good.
I like it, Matt. Well done.
Well done, Matthew. All right.
Thank you.
And now we are
Now let's-
definitely the freedom-loving American first.
Now we're 7 minutes in. Let's get on to the business. Let's get on to Benjamin.
The first thing I would like to talk about before we do that, my good friend Josh, you look different tonight. I mean, not by the hat.
different.
My cheeks are rosy.
I'm mostly, so at times we have to come from work. For me, that's like, I got to put on clothes just to come here. Josh has already put on his fancy clothes, so he would have to like down dress.
Sometimes I got to dress up like I actually want my job.
So
And I'm a healthy median.
you are a healthy medium. And so, I mean, for my friends, we got like a button-up pinstripe, vertical
Technically,
pinstripe
it's
shirt.
You're right. Actually, you're right. It is a button up. You ever seen a button up and a button down?
Sure don't.
Button up has no buttons on the collar. A button down shirt is a buttoned shirt with the collar. Now, here's the real clincher. Do you know why? Some people will say, "Oh, you don't wear a tie with buttons on your collars," or if you do have buttons, you should unbutton them if you wear a tie. Both are incorrect.
Huh.
It's actually the button down collars made to wear a tie with it and to be buttoned down, and it came from polo players.
Oh,
So the collar wouldn't flap up.
I had no idea. They wore a tie playing polo?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I think some
I did
little
not.
Oxford, Princeton, Harvard, little preppy guys, khaki pants, loafers.
I really thought
Entitled.
I really thought you were
Cardigans.
just kind of getting into the role of these founding fathers, and you're one step away
Well,
from
in
a
that
wig.
case, I
if
was
he
gonna
shows
say I'd
up
be
with
wearing
a
a
powdered
wig.
wig.
yeah.
In that case, I'd have to wear a wig.
We've already been, Andrea, and what was your name?
I don't think we've
Stephanie?
It's something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something ridiculous for sure.
We've done that. We're one step away from a powdered wig. We're well on the road to that.
If y'all come up in powdered wigs, I'm going to need about 10, 15 minutes to stop laughing.
If I bring a powder wig, I'm also bringing a stinking musket. Like, we're going for real. Did you ever hunt with the muzzle loader?
Never.
It's the same as a musket. I have, and it's amazing. I'll tell you a story. Is if you haven't done so, if you're not a weapon connoisseur type of person, all right, it's only people who eat steak, medium or less, are allowed to shoot muzzle-loading muskets to start with. And I would bet there's probably a technicality that someone's gonna hold me to that says a musket's different than a muzzleloader from flintlock muzzleloader from today. But maybe it's like rifle barrel or something. But I will tell you this. One of the most enjoyable times I can remember as a family element was so a regular rifle, Josh, you know this, but I'll tell it to people that don't. Regular rifle, Adavajadab would not know this. He's also a guy who threw rocks in the creek when I was trying to fish one time. Well, we've told that story.
Yes, did not forget.
So he is not an outdoorsman, well established. So you have a cartridge with your normal bullet, right? You stick it in, you close it, it hits the pin, and it's self-contained. You shoot the thing, you eject, you put another one in. A muzzleloader or a musket doesn't have that. The way you do it, like the whole barrel itself is essentially that cartridge. So you first thing you do is you clean it out of the old powder. You got like that ramrod thing. You put it down in there. Do you know all this already? Okay. Yeah, you put it down in there. You get that patch out of there, and then you measure out your powder. Usually it's around somewhere between 50 and 100 grains. We'll say 75. Dump that powder in there, and then you get a patch. It's a little round cotton patch, polyester cotton patch, and usually a 45 or 50 caliber circular ball or a sabot slug or something. And you put that patch and that ball on the end of the barrel, you tap it in, and then you use that rod, and you're like, bang, 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 and you basically push the whole way down the barrel, okay? And then on the outside, you got a pan and flint and steel that you cock the flint, it hits the steel when you pull the trigger, and it goes click, spark, poof, and it lights the powder that you dump on the pan outside. It shoots a spark to the inside of the barrel through a little touch hole, and go woof. Anyways, that's muskets. So one of the funnest things I can remember hunting wise growing up, or when I was young, early 20s. Yeah. After Christmas, we would get the family together and we would go hunt deer in Pennsylvania for the flintlock season, and we would just line up, on one holla, we called it, and we would get on the guys that would go around and get on the other side and push deer in, push them past the guys with muskets, and then you just or muzzleloaders, like ka-chow, ka-chow. And you only get one shot.
Yeah, better make it.
And they're open sights. It's not a scoped weapon. They only go about 75 yards moderately accurately. It was a Wild West type of time, and it was great.
Sounds fun.
You got guys walking one way, scaring or pushing deer, to the guys staying on the other side called the posters, drivers and posters, and it was Civil War-esque. It was a great time.
I like it.
But anyhow, if I come in here with one of them stupid wigs, I'm bringing a musket with me. Okay?
There you go.
Because I don't know. It just seems like it would be the right thing to do.
I think it would. You'd have to wear some knee-high stockings, though.
Oh, and your fancy goofy shoes?
And the goofy shoes.
This guy that we're going to talk about tonight actually is probably the most prolific goofy shoe-wearing guy, if I were to think of a picture of a founding father with goofy shoes. And we're talking about, who is it, Matty B? Drum roll.
Benjamin Franklin.
There you go.
Benjamin
Franklin.
Yep.
So, what do you know, my good friend Josh, about our good friend, we would assume we'd be friends, anyhow, Franklin?
He was the first Elon Musk.
How so?
Inventor. That's where I'm going. Bifocals.
He did have some fancy bifocals.
He invented them.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Invented the bifocals.
Wasn't he the electricity guy?
And I'm grateful.
That was one of the many things.
I have readers. I don't have bifocals, but I wear them like they're bifocals because I can't read my screen without them, but I can't see you with them.
So your eyes got a lot bigger and weirder looking when you did that. He's lifting his chin up. Hey, what's it like? So bifocals. What's the difference between that and regular glasses?
These give the same correction all around. A bifocal would have just the bottom portion.
Oh.
So you can look down and then
just
look up. So your eyes are corrected for reading, and then they're normal. Yeah, it's cool. Or maybe they're not normal. Maybe they're a different prescription when you look up or something. That's cool.
Pretty fancy. Electricity. Yeah. He also did something with the printing press.
Huge printing press guy. Yep.
So here's his breakdown.
Yeah, let's hear it. He's
Full
an
name.
old dude.
Old dude. Full name, Benjamin Franklin, born January 17th, 1706 in Boston, Massachusetts.
And he died
in
1790.
Yeah, not even 1800s. But the dude, think about this. When I was prepping for this, I'm like, wow, when he signed the Declaration of Independence, which he did in 76, he was 70 years old.
You know, he wasn't seen much after that.
70 and some change. Why is that?
His terrible health.
But he went
very
on,
poor health.
but he still had a role in 1980, the 1780s. So here's what the rest of the stuff he did. Okay, primary identities. Printer, publisher, writer, inventor, scientist, civic reformer, diplomat, and statesman. Britannica describes him as one of the foremost founding fathers. Well, there we go into that argument already. Public image, the wise old statesman of the Revolution, American in Paris. I don't even know what that means, but that's what it says. The practical genius and one of the few men who stood at the center of both independence and constitution making. What did he do? All right, here we go. He built one of the most influential print and publishing careers in colonial America through the Pennsylvania Gazette and Poor Richard's Almanac. He became internationally known for scientific work and inventions, especially electricity research. He's the kite key guy, which gave him unusual prestige before the Revolution. I made the kite key guy up, but I think it's true. He served on the committee that drafted the Declaration of Independence and signed it. That's a big deal. Then he served in France during the Revolution and helped secure the French alliance, one of the most decisive diplomatic achievements of the war. He helped negotiate the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which ended the war in Britain. He was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention. This is what I was getting at. He was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention in 1787 and signed the Constitution. The National Archives notes he was the oldest delegate there at the age of 81. So he was 81 years old, still doing
Kicking
America's bidding. So what he's known for?
Let me jump in here and tell you what I've got.
Yeah, send to traffic.
So this will be my version of what you just read. Benjamin Franklin, who was he? 1706 to 1790, was one of the most versatile figures of the founding era. Printer, inventor, diplomat, political thinker, Elon Musk of his day. He rose from modest beginnings in Boston, became a leading voice in Philadelphia. Franklin gained fame for his scientific work, brilliant experiments with electricity, and for writings such as Poor Richard's Almanac, which emphasizes practical wisdom and virtue. Politically, he helped unite the colonies, served as a Continental Congress, and played critical roles in securing French support during the Revolution. Arguably, one of the most decisive diplomatic wins of the war. He also contributed to the U.S. Constitution later in life. Franklin was less driven by ideology than some of the founders. He was pragmatic, strategic, and deeply focused on behavior and virtue.
Noted. That'll come into play later.
Yeah, you can try me on it. I got you. I got your number.
Your number. All right. So my role in this whole thing, Josh, is to argue. And here's the thing about it. I'm just going to throw this out very clearly.
Sure, go ahead.
Just because we argue for it doesn't mean we fundamentally believe the argument we're putting
or argue against it.
But for right, exactly. But for the sake of academic debate
and just trying to be as transparent and honest and fair as possible.
Correct.
Just because I'm arguing for or against doesn't mean I personally believe that. We're just trying to bring up the best of both sides of the potential argument and see if we can poke holes through them.
Right. And so I'm going to do my best to emphatically say that Benjamin Franklin was not a founding father here. And it's going to make me look like an
idiot.
Yeah, an idiot.
Idiot's the word you're looking for, because do you know he's referred to as the first American?
Is this us getting started?
Nope, I'm just saying. I'm just adding to your conversation.
Before we get started, I would like to, after doing some research, I believe we have misassigned George Washington.
So you're going back a couple episodes.
Yes, the one that came out.
Are we allowed to do this?
You said we could.
Oh, I did.
If you listen to the George Washington episode. So I am, after doing research and listening to.
What do we have him assigned as right now?
Deus.
Or question mark?
Yes. But
that wasn't my assignment.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. All right.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Big brother, big bully brother.
But after listening to the prereqs we laid out, I am overruling myself and saying he was a Christian.
Oh, you're going to say he was now.
Yeah.
So do we have to change this?
That's what I said too.
So we're changing this?
We could wait 4 weeks.
We could wait till the end.
All right, here's what we'll do.
We could wait 4 weeks and just see if we get any emails about anyone who has a different opinion.
Or you could put half and half.
Yeah, we have a question mark, and this was an update.
That whole whiteboard is going to get real messy.
Yeah.
Just wait till we get 12 dudes in.
Yeah.
Let's get on this guy.
All right, Benjamin Franklin.
So you're saying that he was not a believer. I'm saying that he was.
No, we're talking founding fathers still. We didn't even get past that.
Go on, girl.
So you go ahead and give us your best case, Josh. Why is he in fact make the formal case why he's a founding father?
You want to read his bio again, and then I'll just pause after that. We could do it that way. You made the case for me by just simply telling us history of the man's life.
Well, let's go one by one through our criteria, because that's how we're doing this.
Yep, signer of the founding documents. Check.
Which were?
Constitution and Declaration of Independence. Now, he was a member of the Continental Congress. He was a key negotiator for the alliance with France, which was crucial to our victory in the Revolution.
But what's that got to do with being a founding father? Just because you're a diplomat?
The glare is awful on here. What was the other one? Major role?
In Revolution.
Okay,
Major leadership role. Yeah.
I would call that a leadership role.
Okay.
Maybe it's loose, but I'd call it that. He's one of the most influential public thinkers in colonial America. Influential being the key word in that statement. Influencing others. And helped unify colonies politically and diplomatically. In short, if others sparked and fought the revolution, Franklin helped make sure it succeeded. But there's another note I have on him. I believe Franklin earned the title of the first American for his early and some other big word that we didn't learn in Louisiana, campaigning for colonial unity. He was the only person to sign the Declaration of Independence, the Treaty of Paris, and the Constitution. Nobody else signed all three of those.
Okay.
I'd say that alone, case closed. You can concede now. At this point, if you want to just give him and say, Your Honor, the state rests.
I need more time.
Yeah. Can we have a recess, Your Honor?
I need to talk to my defense.
Denied.
Talk to my client.
Denied.
Go ahead and do your very best to make sure the first American was not a founding father. That just signed
Judge
dang near.
objection. He's leading.
No, I'm not leading. I'm just saying you
in your opening statement, you kind of led them yourself.
But here's the thing.
So how's that taste, dissenter?
Next time the us center is reading the opening statement.
Fair enough.
We can make that rule. It sounds logical.
Yeah.
But like a good lawyer, I'll do my best. All right.
Good luck.
So just because he was an author doesn't make him a principal author, right? There were lots of people.
That's a valid point.
There are lots of folks who signed the Declaration of Independence that were not considered founding fathers. Can we at least agree to that? How many people?
Say that again.
How many people signed the Declaration of Independence, Matty B?
56.
How many were considered founding fathers?
56.
How many are we going to study?
56.
No, we ain't.
Well, no, we're not. But according to our founding father, whatever that title says at the top, I can't even see. Are we continuity or something?
Are we a country founded by
I can't see even the letters. I'm guessing.
The glare is kind of crazy.
Are we a country founded by Christians?
We said they would have to check at least one of these boxes. Signer of a founding document. That would mean that all 56 signers would be a founding father.
No.
Well, okay. Do we want to change that to be at least 2/3?
No, we're not changing anything.
No, let's roll with it.
We're
But
just saying,
you're right.
do they meet him? And we're arguing yes.
Well, and I would also, you made a great point. I'm going to back you up, which is not normally what the assenter should do, but I'm going to say this.
I need the help.
Several people claim to have written the document, claim to have, wrote the Declaration of Independence, whatever, all that mess. But the reality is they borrowed from each other.
Absolutely.
So the Constitution of the United States borrowed heavily from the Constitution of Virginia. So,
hey, if it was so good, why not just reuse it?
Either that or maybe there was only one smart dude in this country and we all just plagiarized him. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
That sounds likely.
Over to you.
Yep. So anyhow, I think his genius was more known for the practical, the diplomatic, and civic rather than
The
systematic
bifocals?
or philosophical. Yeah.
You're saying the bifocals were more important than the treaty with Paris?
And electricity.
We wouldn't be sitting here without electricity. Well,
my,
we would be.
My car runs on Benjamin Franklin juice.
Yes, you could say that.
I'm going to leave that one alone. All right. So that's number one. Number two.
Fair enough.
I mean, okay, he was a diplomat. Again, there's a lot of diplomats today that I don't think we would consider the founding fathers.
Name
and he
one.
was not a military face of the revolution, did not lead armies, okay? That doesn't really make my point. It just supports it. And if we're going to, are we defining founder status? It sounds like we're not through battlefield command or constitutional design. I think Ben Franklin's neither of those. He's got his name on it. Was he a designer? Like a founder, meaning like you're developing something.
Sir, the argument you're making is unless you dreamed up the Constitution yourself, the fact that you agreed with it, propagated it, or promoted it meant nothing. He signed in blood, figuratively speaking.
All right, I'm going to keep going.
Continue
and
on.
I think this is actually a pretty, this is my last one. A lot of times, folks who are known for other things or known in history for, we'll call it pop culture things or big inventions. In his case, the bifocal, sure, but electricity, the kite, all these other things, printing, they get propped up and they get inflated.
So that's a good point. You mean like the fact that, in a
I feel like you're about to say something not serious.
No, in a presidential election of today, just because you're a football player or a pop singer, somehow all of a sudden you become a master of world affairs and government and feel like you should go on TV and tell us how to vote. That's what you're basically saying,
Give me
right?
a break.
But I would argue that while that is true, sir, he used the platform he was given by his heavenly Father and used it for right.
What a cheater. Well, I mean, that's the best I can do for my client.
Well done.
At this time.
Your client's going to jail, but well done, sir. Anybody that's going to argue Benjamin
my
Franklin is
closing.
not the founding father, you got to give him credit for even with a straight face doing his best.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that when I asked Josh, which side are we taking on this, he squarely gave me this junk. But anyhow,
Short end of the stick.
he picked his rules. But anyway, defense closing is this. The defense cannot realistically push Franklin outside the founding father category. But at most, we can clarify his lane, I think. Franklin was not chiefly the nation's pen or its general. He was its public sage, its foreign diplomat, and one of the few men present at multiple decisive moments. That's the best we can do.
We appreciate your feeble attempt and thank you. Moving right along.
All right, we're going to vote.
Founding father.
All right.
10 times out of 10.
I mean, I think
I did some research. He was a key contributor to the Declaration of Independence.
Matty B's the king of let me do some research and,
and blast
let me Google
you.
real time. Yeah.
Let me Google real time and blast you on live on air.
Oh, no, I have something for when we get to it. Was he a Christian? Okay. I have something ready.
But we don't.
We probably have the same thing.
We don't pay Matty B to show prep. We pay him. What's the opposite of show prep on the backside? Show finish?
Yeah, show polish.
Yeah. We're show prep. He's show polish.
That's right.
Spit and shine.
So Benjamin Franklin.
Indeed.
I think I just burped on air.
Oops. Yeah, well, too bad, so sad.
Podcast. All right,
mad
so
about it.
founding father, yes.
100%, yes.
Man, we're really good at this establishing founding father.
I mean, dang,
criteria.
he was deemed the first American. Golly.
All right.
You had a tough road on that one.
Did my best.
You did well.
All right.
Feeble attempt.
I'm a terrible lawyer. All right, so this is the one, though, Josh. Now we're going to get into it. I'm taking the defense again, right? Yeah, I am. You're taking offense.
Yeah.
I like that better than assent and dissent.
Okay.
But you will vehemently defend the fact that he's a Christian. I will.
Does that make me special teams?
Yes.
If you're
Emphasis on the special.
Hey, I could turn you into Andrea again.
Yeah, that'd be very vain of you.
Hey, remember I have.
And petty.
Hey, I am a 20-something-year-old.
The power of the board, yeah.
So.
I know you're not full frontal lobe yet. I get it.
All right.
All
On
right,
trial.
What's that?
On trial here. His
yeah,
faith
on
is
trial.
on trial.
We love Matty B. All right, and I will adamantly defend that he was not
And I will defend that he was.
a Christian.
Most certainly.
So off you go.
Oh, you want me to take this?
That's how it works.
Okay,
Prosecution
so-
always goes first.
I didn't know that. I haven't been to court much. That was supposed to be a joke.
We don't have a laugh track.
So we're going to look at his view on God, his view on Jesus Christ, doctrine, sin, salvation, scripture, and public versus private faith consistency. So pillar one, his view on God. Franklin clearly believed in God. Some might argue your defense is going to try to make a case that he just wasn't really strong on biblical issues. But at multiple times, he affirmed a creator God. He spoke of providence in a general way, albeit, and he emphasized God as a moral governor, not necessarily relational. I would argue if he's a moral governor, he would be not a deist. Okay, some would say, likely our defense will try to land him in the theist or deist blend, leaning probably a little bit deist, but it's going to fall apart, and I'm going to do that here in just a second. Franklin had one of his most famous statements later in life. He had some doubts about Jesus' divinity. That's true. At times, though he admired him as a moral system. Now, there's lots of damning evidence that he was pushing away from Christianity. He was pushing away from God. He didn't believe in Christianity. Most of that's early life. Fortunately, my early life wasn't recorded well, but I would say that we all went through that at some point until we came to reality. He did, although, through all that time, respect the teachings of Jesus. So let's talk about doctrine. He was baptized. Franklin's religion.
He was baptized. Huh.
Yeah. I can tell you the exact name of the church. Checking me. Where
I
we at?
believe you. I submit that as evidence.
Okay. Sorry. I know. He was baptized in the Old South Meeting House in Boston.
Interesting.
Was the name of the church. So he was baptized. His doctrine was very moral and moral based and self-improvement based. That is true. Like several of the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson being one of them, he was pulling away from Christian orthodoxy and looks like he was somewhat defining something else. So I wouldn't group him in with a 2026 evangelical Christian. But he was heavily focused on humility and character. He did have very little to say about sin as a fallen condition. However, this is where it's going to get interesting. Franklin did rarely attend church in his adult life. He did attend church early life, like as a child with his parents, but not on his own. He encouraged religion, but you might hear the defense try to tell me it was for social benefits or some crazy silliness like that. But then he calls for prayer at the Constitutional Convention late in life, aligning with my previous statement that it's very possible he came to a deeper faith later in life. Why would a deist call the Constitutional Congress to prayer when God creates the world, creates humanity, and then walks away and goes plays Legos or something, right? So he's calling them to pray. He respects religion publicly, but practices it selectively, which aligns with my theory that he's kind of like Thomas Jefferson, trying to redefine his faith and his practice. So what's my verdict? Well, I'm going to say this. He believes in God, not clearly in line with Orthodox Christianity of the time. He valued and respected the teachings of Jesus, focuses heavy on character and virtue aligned with Scripture. And this is what I wanted. This was my closing point here. On the BenjaminFranklin.org website, stored at the Library of Congress and Yale University, is a letter to...
we trust all Ivy Leagues here.
I got nothing to say to that. A letter to Ezra Stiles, president of Yale College. And it's rather short, but I'd like to read it to you. Two little snippets from it. If I mispronounce these words, it's because I can't even read how eloquently he wrote. He went to a better college. I grew up in Lafayette. How has it happened?
Where was Louisiana in the I'm a state list?
Far, far later.
Way later? Louisiana Purchase type of thing?
Yep. How has it happened, he pondered, according to a copy of the speech in Franklin's papers, that we have not hitherto, I got it. If I didn't say Heathrow again. How have we not hitherto once thought of humbly applying the Father of light to illuminate our understandings? The longer I live, he told the delegates in Philadelphia, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs all affairs of men. Not a deist, folks. That's not deism. That is certainly not theism, because there's not multiples. It's not deism because deists would not believe that God governed in the affairs of men. He repeatedly cites verses from the Bible to make his case, quoting Psalms 127, quote, "Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that built it." Without God's aid, Franklin contended, the founding fathers would succeed in this political building no better than the builders of Babel. Here's what I'm saying. He's not an atheist, that's for sure. He's not agnostic, that's for sure. He's not talking about Vishnu and Zeus and any other.
Theist is one or more creator gods. One or more.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Typically, it's viewed as more, but technical definition is one or more. That's true. Deist is he believes God creates the world and then steps back, then just walks away from it. So
not tied to.
So he certainly isn't deist. Although, ironically, lots of people will say they think he leans more deist, but that doesn't make sense according to what we've heard here. My argument is it's squarely, without question, a Christian faith, although it may not look like yours or mine. He was trying to shake off the yuck from the Church of England and trying to figure it out on his own using Scripture, although not perfect. I rest my case.
That was it?
I think I need to say nothing else.
I'm going to do it a little bit more systematic than you are. I have one question to get you started. Well, I'm going to ask Matty B, because he's an unbiased third party. What is the primary fundamental requirement of being a Christian?
That Jesus Christ died for our sins. And
There you go.
washed us white as snow.
All right. So I have a question for you, Mr. Prosecution.
Send it.
What was Ben's view and opinion on Jesus Christ himself?
Really enjoyed his teachings. Thought highly of his teachings, I believe is what it said.
He's taking a sip of coffee behind his fancy glasses and low-billed hat because he doesn't want to answer the question, which is this. Franklin himself...
I'll let you know if you're right or not. Go ahead, say that. Make your accusations
I'm aware.
against the first American.
I'm aware. Yeah, listen, I will. All right. Pillar 1, confession, which is our pillars. I'm going to attempt to stick to what we said we were going to talk about. All right. I'm not going to live in one spot, which was reputation or practice. I'm going to hit all of them because it all matters. All right. Confession. If you want to talk about what he confessed, Franklin himself.
I feel like that was an accusation against me.
But I love you. It was a loving accusation.
I'm going to make one right back in a minute. Go ahead.
Franklin himself wrote that he had, quote unquote, some doubts.
Yeah. He wrote that early in life.
As to Jesus' divinity.
That's true. That's absolutely true. You need to say that more clearly because I don't think they heard the last part of that.
Because the prosecution keeps cutting off the defense.
I asked you to repeat it. I'm trying to help you here. I think this time.
Franklin himself wrote that he had some doubts as to Jesus' divinity.
You got cut off again.
Franklin himself wrote that he had some doubts, quote unquote, as to Jesus' divinity.
That's right.
How do you square that?
I square it easily. You ever heard of a devout Muslim that later comes to Christ? He likely said some pretty ugly things regarding Christianity, the divinity of Christ, before he became a believer.
Okay.
I think we're allowed to have mistakes pre-Christ, right?
I would hope so. I think you're allowed to have, I know you're allowed to have mistakes post-Christ, but not ideally in the matters that are what fancy people would say salvific, salvation-based, like this is fundamental to what you say you believed when you got baptized. What age did he get baptized?
I have to look. I don't know.
As soon as he was born.
That was it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Boy, we got multiple problems with this.
That it very possibly could be because it would have probably been closer aligned to like Anglican or Catholic or
right.
Episcopalian.
So he never really made that he never really had the declarative moment, Josh. And that's the difference. Well, no, it's not the difference. Well, yeah, it is. But it's like you've got the different types of religion and then what they believed then and what the Baptists are now. But it's like as, you get confirmed in the Protestant church around age 12. As a Baptist, you're like, once you feel that you're like, look, this is truly what I believe and I understand what it means, I'm getting baptized again or baptized for the first time. And that is, in fact, the moment you're like, okay, I am now reborn. But Franklin didn't have that moment. I have a hard time with him having doubts as to the divinity and never clarifying that because if you're telling me what's up.
So he was baptized on January 6, 1706.
Yeah,
as an infant.
Yeah. And so
I would not. I think that's the worst. I would back off that argument. That's the worst.
Oh, you think I have better arguments?
Well, you have to because that one holds no water.
Well,
neither is baptism. Neither is probably sprinkle.
Well, here's the other thing. When he's older, you mentioned that prayer. Read the prayer. Go ahead. Read the prayer again. Read what he said about when he was in the 80s. He's 80 or 70 years old.
Should I pull it in its yeah, okay, here we go. Okay. How has it happened, he pondered, according to the copy of the speech in Franklin's papers, that we have not hitherto once thought of humbly applying to the Father of lights to illuminate our understanding?
Pause there. The Father of light.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about, as a Christian, the Trinity is central to our belief system.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
So, who makes up the light?
Jesus.
Yes. And so, who is part of the Trinity, the Godhead, the three-person Godhead, or the three-entity Godhead?
Well, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Right. So when he said, so why is he not in that particular moment saying very clearly Why isn't he mentioning Jesus' name very clearly? He says the Father. How many times
are
have
you
you
lobbing
prayed?
me softballs right now?
How many times have you prayed to the Father of light?
Okay, how many times have I prayed in 1790? The same number. Because here's the thing. All of these guys.
The Father of light is a weird thing to say.
True, but listen to this.
Sounds like somebody doesn't have the divinity figured out.
No, or maybe they do.
Okay.
And hear me out. If you just came from England, where you were not allowed to be Episcopalian, you were not allowed to be Pentecostal or a Puritan or a Methodist, you had to be the Church of England. You had to do what they say, when they say it. It was governed by the Queen or the King. They came here for religious freedom, and that's a misunderstanding. And I was having this conversation at work, this absolute very conversation. Freedom of religion in the United States is not freedom from religion, right? What these founding fathers did not want to run afoul with was say, while we're advocating for you to have religious freedom, we don't want to, from our position, dictate to anyone their beliefs. So they would use things that are easily transferable across all boundaries. Yeah. What that I mean, divine providence. Well, if you're a Hindu, that's not going to upset you. If you're Catholic, Methodist, Presbyterian, or Episcopalian, it ain't going to bother you. But if he came out there and said, the Blessed Virgin Mary, they're like, Catholic. He's Catholic. He's trying to force Catholicism down my throat. Okay. So that's why I would say.
All right.
There's a lot more meat there for you. But if you want to keep throwing me lob balls, defense, go right ahead.
That's his confession. He said he'd had some doubts. And I would say that based on what you were going to finish that comment with about the prayer thing, he's saying, I am becoming ever more convinced.
Yeah.
That tells me you were not convinced. If you're saying that at age 70, that tells me you weren't. Ever more convinced isn't I am solidly convinced in the Trinity right now. You know? There's a little bit of meat left on that bone there, Ben. All right. Number 2. Can I go into pillar 2?
Hold on a second. Let me correct your statement, sir.
Please do.
While you put false words in the first American's mouth. The longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth that God governs in all the affairs of men.
Leaves room for doubt. All right.
Yeah. Doubt in what you said, not in what he said. You can move along.
Pillar 2. Reputation. Even sympathetic descriptions of emphasize complexity, which you've done, not confessional Christianity, right? We are arguing in a roundabout way that he's a Christian, and we have not yet found a smoking gun, no questions about it. I think we can at least agree to that. I mean, we are arguing evidence points towards. There's not a smoking gun I've found yet. What do you got, Matty B?
I have the equivalent of what you could call a smoking gun, but you want me to wait till the end?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the judge.
All right.
All right. And Yale's, which you used, which I don't trust them, but here it is. Yale's book description on Franklin's religious life says he had abandoned the exclusive Christian faith of his family and embraced deism as a young man, though he later became more complex than a flat-through deist. All right. That's his reputation. 3, doctrine. This is probably the strongest category. Because historic Christianity, as we know, especially Orthodox Christianity, they centrally affirm Christ's divinity. And Franklin never, show me the money, show me the baby, where he clearly affirmed the divinity of religion or of Christian religion. I don't see it. I didn't find it anywhere. And then deism, as the Library of Congress explains, and I don't know if he's a deist, I think he'd be a theist, but stressed morality and rejected the Orthodox Christian view of Christ's divinity, often seeing Jesus as the mainly moral teacher. That's Ben Franklin. That's how they describe him. And that fits his 1790 statement, which you just read, very closely, okay? Jesus is mainly a moral teacher, unless we didn't read that yet. So I think his beliefs line more comfortably. If I were being comfortable with it, I am incredibly comfortable that, and as you are, I presume, I'm very comfortable in that he believes in one or more creator gods. Are you comfortable with that? Like, I'm talking like you could sleep in a warm blanket of that.
Yeah, because
opinion.
Christians would also be considered theists.
Okay. Do you see him as being tied to a Protestant or Catholic faith, which is our criteria, and the pillars of which they believe?
Well, I think that. So are we done arguing with each other and we're trying to actually figure this out now?
Well, that's the
Or
last pillar.
Am I supposed to be still arguing?
That's the last pillar, practice problems.
Well, so here's the issue.
Which church did he go to?
Here's the real issue. Like I said, like Thomas Jefferson, I think he was taking issue, which is biblical, wrestle out your salvation.
Like it.
But if we're talking this out now, he's got major missteps. I say absolutely he has to be a theist, which according to this definition, every Christian is a theist. He has to be at a minimum a theist. I would say I would be comfortable saying some weird mix, saying he's a theist that has slight Christian leanings. The problem I really run with what we've done here is the way I've suggested we bake the cake, because our measuring stick for Christian is wildly high.
Is it?
Most Christians would not measure up to that.
Well, that's where I want to go next.
And here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They would in their own life, but they wouldn't with evidence left behind.
But would they in their own life? And this is the point which I think we pivot and we talk about the fellas.
They would in their own life, and by that I mean this unnamed guy, Joe Black, that believes in Christ, that believes in the Trinity, that is a sold out Christian, but he doesn't speak and leave evidence behind that meets this. Well, where did he say, I believe in the Trinity? The Trinity is made up of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I always do the sign of the cross like Catholics do. I say it on one leg while I light a candle. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I want to make a point to this.
I'm just saying, look, we said this already before in the podcast. If Matty B were to say, God is love on his Facebook page, people would accuse him of being a religious zealot, crazy fanatic.
Yeah.
But that would not meet the male of Christianity for what we have. You follow what I'm saying?
Because I do, and I'm going to make a whole other point.
But he didn't mention Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I want to talk about that, but let's finish this.
If you want my honest opinion, yeah, you're right. Theist.
Oh, that's where we're at. So let's
theist leaning Christian. Or no, theist with a slight sprinkle of Christianity beliefs in there, but I couldn't put him in as a Christian.
All right, Matty B, we're trying to wrap this up. To the judge, what say you, judge man?
All right, so in that letter you mentioned to Ezra Stiles, he mentions his creed. This is what it says. I believe in one God, the creator of the universe. I believe he governs it through his providence and that he shall be worshipped. I believe the most acceptable service we can offer him is doing good to his other children. I believe the human soul is immortal and will be treated with justice in another life based on how it behaved in this one. So if he believed in one God,
sounds like you earn your salvation.
That does sound like the most Christian statement we've heard on here yet.
But that is preaching a works-based salvation, which is not Christianity. But he did believe in one God, one creator, and he governs it.
Just not Jesus and what he's done. Allegedly.
So
none of them are going to say Jesus. Well, one is.
Well, so
read Ed.
But also,
all right, Judge, wrap it up. I got to make a point here. I'm excited to do it.
And then he says, I'll also add this. Having experienced God's goodness in leading me through a long, successful life, I have no doubt that goodness will continue in the next, though I do not have the slightest ego to think I've actually earned it.
Okay. Because you can't earn it.
Exactly. So I think, I think I'll agree. As he was getting older, he was working his way towards it. But he believed in one God, one creator, and he was present.
And an afterlife that he'll be judged in for the way he lived this life.
But he did preach a works-based.
I'm not changing my stance here. at this way I voted, but I will say that is probably the most in-your-face Christian statements or prophetic it's not prophetic. In-your-face Christian statement we're going to hear from anybody during this day and age.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying, in this culture at that time, 200 years ago.
Well, do you know how he ended this letter to Ezra? He said, "Keep this quiet until the day I die, so it doesn't stir up public mess."
Yeah.
So this is the closest thing he has to his declaration of faith.
That's interesting.
And the thing that he wanted to keep quiet
Was that
intentionally not to stir up trouble
Yep.
or cause others to think he was
stumble.
yeah.
or cause others to think he's trying to profess or
But he
project
also-
a faith on
Yeah.
them.
And also he does say, "I have some doubts about his divinity," talking about Jesus of Nazareth.
All right, where are we at, Judge?
I think he's somewhere in between Christian and deist.
Not theist.
No, because he
Deist.
believes in one God.
Well,
Well, no, it's
theist
just
can
one
be
or more.
one or more.
Or more. This
Deist
is the difference between deist and theist.
Yeah.
deist means there's no
All right,
afterlife.
So, okay. Theist slowly working his way.
All right.
to
That's
Christian.
where I'm at on it too.
All right. We're going to go. So, what are we, how we,
Theist with a slight, so put like a capital T with a small c. So he's a theist with slight Christian leanings.
But he also says, "I have experienced God's goodness."
Yeah. I mean,
So he was getting there.
a Hindu would say that.
no, they would say God's plural.
Yeah.
Well, the specific God's goodness. All right, here's my real
They
question.
can only worship 3 gods.
At a time?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They live in fear of the other.
Is that a
They
real
they believe in 3 million gods. They can worship 3, and they walk around the rest of their life in fear that the other gods are mad at them for not choosing them.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Wow. All right,
I
here's
could be slightly
here's
off, but
my
it's about-
application
it's
to
about
this
accurate.
that I was thinking about when we were going through this. Now, here's the thing. This is the application for men right now listening to this podcast. You and me, him, everyone. Be careful what you believe and be careful with what you wrestle with, right? And here's why I say that.
It's good.
Being a deist or being a theist is dangerous. And I think a lot of fellas
true.
are live squarely today in the Benjamin Franklin category. And here's why. You believe in a God and a creator.
That's good, Eric. That's
Right?
good.
You believe in a God and a creator.
But you've left it there.
You have stopped short of
And
not
then I go get
necessarily publicly, but even privately in your own mind,
Understanding, yeah.
proclaiming the divinity for what it is,
And that
Jesus
won't do
Christ
it.
and what he did. Exactly. Just because you believe that there is a God,
Satan believes there's a God.
does bingo, and he talks to him. So why don't you? Even Satan talks to him, right? Go read Job.
Yeah, so that just makes you a fool at that point.
So be careful that
That's a
you aren't
good point,
walking
Eric.
through this world as a Benjamin Franklin. You need to be, and I'm not saying publicly Facebook, I'm not saying go do the thing, but I'm telling you, get this squared away in your own life.
There you
If
go.
You have
Preach it,
not,
dude.
If you have
Come on.
not, I mean, even in a private moment,
Yeah.
sort it out in your mind. Am I a believer that
Well,
there is a God,
I
or am
would
I
say-
Jesus Christ died on that cross for
With
me?
that,
I
Eric,
am a devout Christian
I
for
would
that reason
say
alone. You know what I'm saying?
Either do the doggone homework and earn your decision that you land on.
Yeah.
Don't buy somebody else's junk. You look it up and be a man and earn it, or admit that you're a lazy wimp who won't bother to even look into it, which, in my opinion, would be worse than an unbeliever. You have some thoughts that this might be real. I'm just too lazy to even care to look.
Bingo.
Shame on you, bro.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it is
Wow.
if someone asks you the question,
That's
or asks-
great, Eric.
If someone asks you the question or you ask yourself, am I going to heaven? And your answer is anything but an unequivocal yes, and because Jesus died for me
there you
and
go.
for me alone. If your answer is anything but that, if it starts with a or I think or I should be, anything that's that, I recommend as a friend and a fellow follower, you ought to go back and get this squared away.
Our Contact the Choice podcast show.
We'll help you. Here's what and this is our good friend and podcast contributor, Pastor Tim. Here's what we were in on Sunday. So what are you saying? So what does it look like? What does it mean to be a Christian? Here's what, it's not going to cost you something. It'll cost you everything. And here's what that everything, nothing and everything all at the same time.
Yeah, it's free. It's just going to cost you everything.
This is Jesus talking, the cost of discipleship in Luke 14. This is pretty hard hitting. All right. Now great crowds accompanied him, that's Jesus, and he turned to them and said, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and his own mother and his wife and his children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he's enough to complete it? Otherwise, he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish. All who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. All right. And then Jesus goes on to say a couple other things. So, holy cow. If Ben Franklin would have taken that Luke, I mean, he had access to it, Luke 14:25, and been like, look, let me be very clear. I forsake all in the defense of the gospel, which is the good news that Jesus Christ died for us. It would be in his writings as a smart man and statement, insanely clear. But here's the thing. I get what your argument about we don't want to push this because
here's the other side of that argument is many people that knew him said few people know scripture as well as he does. That he references it all the time. So he had the truth.
He had it. He just hadn't put it together.
But man, yeah, and I think there is something, unless you've done it, you won't understand it. When you lean into God, you ask him to reveal himself through his word, that word comes alive. It reads
living and
differently.
Active. Oh, yeah. That's great.
But you have to have a heart that's hungry for it.
Good point. You got to be, you have to have your mind prepped.
You can memorize all of it. It means nothing.
Yep. There's a barrier there. There's a shield. There's a wall. Call it what you want. You have to
veil.
be willing. Veil. Good
over
one.
the eyes of the unbeliever.
Like,
2 Corinthians.
Come on.
I think it's...
Oh, see, you were on a roll.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the scales fell from Paul's eyes. Man, you have to get that squared away. So the danger is this, and just is what you need to, I would say for men who are listening, and women, anybody listening, here's the danger you need to guard against. Don't be a Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, because we just landed. Can we agree?
Make it clear.
Old Benny boy.
Don't leave any room for doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Do not leave room for doubt. And your salvation is at stake, son. Your eternal salvation is at stake.
Who cares what you tell everyone else on Facebook or Instagram or whatever?
Not a requirement.
If you're not right with God and his lineup with his word, everything else is irrelevant.
It says in the show.
But
don't put on a face and say, this is what I'm doing. No, you gotta, it's personal.
Yeah, it's personal.
So to put a stake in Benjamin Franklin, we've all agreed he's a theist. He just happens to have some Christian seasoning sprinkled in, but that doesn't get you there. But that's what we're going with. He's a theist. In some areas, he leans a little bit more towards a Christian flavor, but that's about it. All right.
All right, Josh. Well, guess what? Next time, my good friend, we did it. We got the end of Benjamin Franklin.
And we're close to an hour on that. So what are we doing next?
So the next one we're going to go to is our good friend Samuel Adams.
Sam the man.
And I'm doing a little prep on this guy. I like him a lot, man. He's a spicy cat, which we're going to get into. And I like this. I just like the fact that he was a fighter and that he was just he was a troublemaker. Yeah. Frankly. And now he's a delicious cold frosty beverage.
I would actually say, I think the word I used was he was a political instigator.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. So next one is Sam Adams, also known as Samuel
Agitator.
Adams.
That's what it was.
Agitator.
Not instigator. Agitator.
We like agitators for at least for what we want them to agitate for. Yeah.
All right.
Good work, fellas. Appreciate you, Matty B. Feel like you got this one right. Well done.
Yeah, this is clean.
Yeah, 1 for 3. No, 2 for 3.
Hey, yeah.
2 for 3.
The only one I got wrong was the very first one. This is a learning curve.
Yeah, you're right. And we're grace-based principles.
Yeah.
All right. Don't feel sad. We love you, buddy. All right, boys and girls. Until next time, remember this. Men of the world follow trends, but men of the faith, and you can decide whether or not our good friend Ben was that.
We ain't that good of friends.
Make your choice.
Make your choice.
Because they follow truth.